Aquarius.
Hello Aquarius, Happy New Year 2015. First of all, I want to thank you for following in the year that has passed, and I want to welcome all of you new viewers to my channel where we will be looking at your charts month by month. So first of all, I see that there's a lot of shifts going on here with you, and one of the greatest news headlines, if we can call it that, is that you're now advancing out of the pressure that has been in the career field for you. Many of you have felt that you've grown, you've expanded, now arriving to a point where you've mastered your skills under some of this pressure and challenges that has been. So you're going to feel that it's alleviating, leaving you feeling somewhat lighter, that those burdens or responsibilities needn't be that heavy. However, though, you're now moving from the career field with Saturn's influence into the area of groups and organizations. So that is like a promotion in itself, and that doesn't mean that right now you're going to get a promotion at work, but you are promoting spiritually, emotionally, and intellectually into this new area, and in due time you will come to see how these promotions are going to affect you right here in this area. Especially those of you born really early, first few days of your sign will be feeling it right now. The rest of you, well, you have until December 2017. So it's not all overnight, but it's a gradual thing, and thank God it is gradual, because Saturn, when we're not attuned to it, yes, it can feel limited and restrictive. Think about the rings of Saturn, right? However, the trick to Saturn is working one's way beyond those rings. If you feel it like a challenge, then you might see yourself up against a wall. But when you know how to work with Saturn, knowing that Saturn is here to support you so that you can master your skills, you'll find your way under the rings and into the core of Saturn. And this is where we find our new levels of maturity, mastering those talents, right? So this is how we always want to think with Saturn. So right now here, 0 degrees into your 11th house of hopes, dreams, and wishes. Well, here we go. This is the area of growth. And just to look at where all your planets are right here now, January 1st, well, you have a big crowd, a little party going on in the 12th house, meaning that you've just come out of a busy, very social period, and now you're feeling the need to kind of retreat a little bit. We got the Sun, Mercury, the new moon, Venus, and Pluto here in this area. And 12th house is a spiritual house. It means draw within, listen to the higher self. What makes you feel good when you relax? It's a time to meditate, do some yoga, those things where we can recharge our batteries. And you want to do that, Aquarius, because next month is your birthday month, and that's going to rivet up all the energies and send all of these planets back out into your chart from the 1st through the 12th, and you will be busy and up and running again. So listen to that internal music, okay? And we have a lot of things going on. You're going to be a little tested with this new Saturn placement throughout the month. We're going to work through that. But I'm going to talk a little bit about the retrogrades also taking place here. We have our annual Mercury retrograde in the early part of the year taking place this month, which is going to be between that of January 21st through February 11th. For you, this is going to be in your 1st house because it's going to be in the sign of Aquarius, so to your sign. And what does that mean? Well, Mercury is always communication. How we communicate, what we communicate, anything that is written or verbal, any kind of promises that we make, any signatures that we need to create. We want to be a little careful while the planet is backwards, because it happens that we end up missing the small fine print, and then we're going to have to do it later, right? But you can negotiate, you can check things out and research. That's all good. But for anything major, and especially also in purchasing technical appliances or equipment, any computers or new car vehicles, wait to after February 15th or even a little bit longer so Mercury can get out of its shadow. But yes, that we do want to be a little aware of. Jupiter is still now retrograde until that of April 9th. Jupiter for you is retrograding here in your 7th house for committed relationships. So that could be you and your partner working through situations. It could also be partners you work with closely one-on-one, like brokers, agents, and so forth. And looking at opportunities, maybe even some lost or past opportunities. That's what Jupiter is going to bring back to you, because Jupiter always wants to give us stuff, right? When it's moving forward. And sometimes we accept it and embrace it. Sometimes we don't, because we're so busy doing something else. So you might just talk back over what could have been, and how about doing it now? That kind of stuff until April 9th. And then you'll see she'll start picking up speed again, but it's in a good placement here for you, Aquarius. Then we have the new moon this month also in your 12th house, you know, for that spiritual retreat. You want to focus on that on the 20th and say, I'm going to make sure that I, every month, set off a little time just to go into this inner spiritual retreat, whether it's just for a few hours, you know, or make a little time every day, 5 to 10 minutes, because it's important to keep those batteries powered up so we don't exhaust, right? So that's a great intention for you to have here on the 20th. The full moon, on the other hand, is going to illuminate your 6th house this month. And the 6th house has everything to do with your day-to-day routines, your to-do list. Are you overworked? Do things just seem to come so fast that it passes you by? And then we got little, you know, heaps here and there of clutter. It's time to unclutter here. And so the new moon may illuminate, bring that to consciousness, look at it. And it's also your work area too, might come into focus here in the 4th. But let's talk about top of the month. What is taking place for you here, Aquarius? There's a choice. We got Mars and Jupiter. They're opposite right now. And so Mars wants to move in a certain direction. It's your passion, your desire, your goals, right? And Mars is always fiery, ready to go. But Jupiter is saying, hey, hang a minute. You know, are you sure of your direction? Do you want to make this choice now, or do you want to wait a little bit, get more information? So it's like Jupiter is trying to make you aware that it might not be the best of time right yet to make that decision. A little bit later in the month, you'll come to see why, but you're aware of wanting to take action. This Mars for you is the 1st house, 7th house is your Jupiter, so you might be wanting to go in this direction, your partner in that direction. So, you know, you really want to try to find common grounds. And this will come as we advance through the month. On the 3rd, there might be even more thrown into this fire as far as looking at what you want and how you want to navigate. There's some communication here that might not really see eye to eye. However, it's going to help you become conscious of what it is you're needing now, because that Sun is in the 12th house. That Uranus, which is not meeting eye to eye, is in the 3rd house of communication. So maybe you will bring something up, or somebody around you might bring, you know, a situation to the surface. Then we're going to have the first run-in, the first test of Saturn's new placement, and that's going to be Venus. Venus rules money, rules love. Venus is still here currently in your 12th house, and Saturn there in the 11th. Hopes, dreams, wishes, right? And you're having this feel, because Venus has been transiting in December too, in this 12th house. So you've started to feel how you're wanting a little bit more private space, perhaps, not as social as it has been. And so I see how Saturn's going to support you on this. It's a beautiful aspect to have. So you're going to feel good and confident. On the 13th, we see here that Venus also is going to have a similar run-in with Uranus, which is now you seeing how you're liberating and freeing up your time, your space. So you're doing really good work here, Aquarius, and especially because now Mars on the 12th, the day prior, also changed signs out of your first house. So you've completed this journey of figuring out your new path. Now Mars is going to be looking at how you can power up, looking at how you can, should I say, build your financial world, your own personal income, wealth, if you wish. And it's going to be creative for you, because you've already had some incredible ideas here throughout December, because you've known that things are shifting and changing. So you're ahead of the game. And you being Aquarius and having had now Mars in your sign, that really opens up the pipeline to those upstairs that can bless upon you those inspired thoughts and ideas that you're now going to be looking at financially, crunching those numbers, right? And having Mars now to your second house, you get that transit once every other year. So this is the time to really look at how you want to arrange it. Then we have the 15th, Mars now testing up towards that Saturn, so you might have some communication, perhaps with a group or a group member or some organization. And it's a little testy because Saturn here, it's still new in this area, so you might feel a little apprehensive perhaps, you know, how they're viewing what it is you're suggesting. And you're the Mars suggesting something here financially. But all you can do is to put it out there and then wait and see what's going to come from it. On the 19th, well, then Venus is going to oppose Jupiter just like Mars did, top of the month, January 1st. Go back to January 1st. What was on your agenda? Because now today, Venus is going to look to that partner of yours, and you're going to see whatever you started off earlier in the month. If things now feel somewhat better, have we arranged it? You're going to have the talk again to see if you can find that middle ground. And I'm feeling you're doing pretty okay, because that Mars that was a little bit, not necessarily at odds, but you were kind of on two different pages, has now found some kind of beautiful solution that you're feeling good about on the 20th, okay? Because it's all about finding the path that feels idealistic. What works for you? What works for your partner? Always think to have your partner in mind. Keeping him or her happy will also make it easier on you. And so I see that you're finding that this is good on the 20th. And the 21st, Venus is moving out of your 12th house into your first house. And this is really wonderful, because having Venus to your sign allows you to radiate that heartfelt, beautiful heart chakra, and you're glowing and you're giving. You're feeling now that you're out of that little cubby hole where Venus has been hiding out, healing, empowering itself. So now you're ready to share. So after the 21st, things are good. And whatever these suggestions that you put out on the 15th that might have had to do with money matters, right? With a partner or somebody within a group, well, you're going to get feedback today on the 23rd how well that went. And for you, well, the sun is sextile. So you're feeling pretty good about it. The sun too right now, coming out of that 12th house into the first house, joining up with Venus there. So the rest of the month now is, should I say, energizing itself towards these new heights. Now you'll feel that with news coming to you on the 28th. I feel that this could be not a game changer necessarily, but it could be a symbolic key opening up a door. This communication or piece of news that you're going to get is kind of like electrifying you to, yes, there we have it. There's the solution. There's the answer. And somehow, maybe, that the answer that you've been looking for actually is in the past, because Mercury is retrograde, right? And this is Mercury and Uranus right now doing this talk. So the solution is in the past in order to move forward. Then we have the 30th, and remember the 15th when you were feeling a little apprehensive, perhaps, kind of testing yourself out now towards this new mentor, the new boss, the new representative of Saturn, which is asking you to grow. Well, Venus is going to be up against it too. But you already know that you had a good outcome when Mars was there, and now you get to test out your emotional side, not just your drive side, but your emotional side. And don't really be too apprehensive. Venus is, because it's emotional, right? But Mars and Pluto on the very same day, the 30th, is doing the dance. Mars, your drive is moving forward. Pluto is moving forward. They have a beautiful sextile. Together, I see that they will support you to present whatever it is you're presenting, and you're going to feel that the outcome of this, too, is really good. And we have Mars in your second house, so it is money related. Pluto here in your 12th house, well, it's things that you've tried to creatively put into motion that you were thinking about there in December, but it's now coming into this flow, and you're holding your breath here with Venus, hoping that it's going to sit with whoever up there is in a decision of your query. And so we'll see what February is going to bring around with that, but it's powerful. It is a part of the game-changing energy that 2015 is going to be all about. And February will shed some more light on that. So listen to your partner's chart this month. Know where his or her Saturn is going into. Why? Because as you're changing, your partner's going to sense that there's a shift. Change is good, but change can also bring a little insecurity from your partner because they don't know why or what is changing, right? And you might sense that your partner is changing priorities and focus, and you want to know where that is so that you can be there and be supportive of him or her. So do that and listen to your moon and your rising sign. And in the meanwhile, take care for now, and thank you for liking, sharing, and watching.